TV's Rick Blood is here.
Rick Blood. Rick Blood.
Rick Blood. Breathe live.
Hey, that's cool.
Welcome to Unfiltered, December 3rd, 2010. And TSA is still getting their jollies, searching everybody. And it's been, it's been making me start thinking about the choices I have coming up. Because the conference is coming in April, and trying to decide whether I'm going to go out to the conference or not, or stay here and work. Sounds like it would be a simple choice, right? But in order to get anywhere with the TSA, the only thing that you can do is boycott the airlines. That means don't fly. If nobody flies, the airlines will be all over the government to stop this crap. Plain and simple. It's the corporation. When it comes down to the dollar, the airlines will have their say, and they'll get rid of all the security. If nobody flies, that's what will happen. Security will disappear because the airlines will insist on it. All right. I'm just giving you clues of ways to fix all this. A conversation I had earlier in the week on the porch with Lee, one of our extended, conversations that drift in and out of making sense for me. But he said at one point, the government told us that if we changed the speed limit to 55 miles an hour on the highways, it would save lives. Do people still die on the highways? Yes. Do people still go faster than 55? Yes. I said, here's my answer in case you want to hear it. If you want people to slow down on the highways, rip all the asphalt off of them. Turn them into dirt roads. People will slow down.
Yeah, and then you could see the black ice.
And then you could see the black ice. You'd have to paint everything white. That's the secret to black ice. You just make white roads. Black ice would stand out like that.
I believe the 55-mile-an-hour speed limits came about back in the 70s during the gas crunch. It was one of the ways to try and save fuel was to get people to go slower and not burn as much fuel. So.
And has it worked?
Not really. No, it was all a ploy by the government.
That was to keep our gas prices under $1 a gallon. No, it didn't work, did it?
No, it was the threat of a shortage that allowed them to jack the prices. That's what started it all.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the whole oil crunch. And then, what was it? We traded some guns to one of the Middle Eastern countries for some oil, or we traded the guns for some food, and whoever had the food traded the guns for oil or something. It was a whole mess, I remember, but got Ollie North his own TV show. Hey, you want to hear something really cool? Talk about saving some money. In Macomb County, Michigan, a 76-year-old grandmother bagged a 5-point buck this year. Yeah. She hunts from a shack. It was opening day. She took her second deer because it was the opening day for firearms. Apparently, she got one with a bow and arrow also. She lives in Richmond, Michigan. She said as a child, she watched her father take target practice. She hunts from a shack at the rear of her property about 35 miles northeast of Detroit. She took her deer about 15 minutes after her son shot an 8-point buck. And her 14-year-old grandson also got a deer this year. That's kind of cool. So yeah, congratulations to, what's her name? B. Leach. Aunt B got herself a buck. All right, what else is going on? Oh, I was going to talk about some Christmas stuff. Because, you know, it's the holiday season. And by the way, I hope everybody enjoyed Thanksgiving. We all did. Ate, you know, more than we usually do. I got out, took some pictures. Last weekend, I went to La Salette Shrine in Enfield. And for their Christmas light display. They've got a whole hillside covered with Christmas lights. It is beautiful. And on the Christmas Eve show, you're going to see a slideshow of those lights as well as a bunch of shots from around this area of houses all lit up and nicely decorated for the Christmas season. But at the same time, as Christmas is rolling in on us, we've got all the people that don't want Christmas to happen, all the Grinches, like Muslim people, and people that don't like us because we have Christmas. People are trying to outlaw Christmas, trying to take down all the Christmas stuff. And I found a way to solve that. We just say, all right, we'll give up Christmas. But we need a holiday at this time of year anyway. So instead of celebrating Christmas, we'll call it Christ's birthday. Because Washington gets a birthday, nobody complains. Lincoln gets his birthday, nobody complains. We celebrate people's birthdays all the time. So we'll just have, instead of Christmas, it'll be a lot cheaper too. Because instead of buying tons and tons of presents, you just buy a couple presents and a cake. Martin Luther King gets a birthday. Yeah, see? So instead of having Christmas and making a whole big deal about Santa Claus, because Santa Claus, that's another one of our kind of things. Santa Claus, we track him on radar all over the world on Christmas Eve. But Santa Claus doesn't go all over the world. He just comes to us people that, you know, that know about Santa Claus. Every culture. See, Santa Claus is kind of like God because every culture has its own Santa Claus. And we're not fighting over the differences in Santa Clauses. You know, in some countries, Santa Claus only gives the people an orange. And that's the whole Santa Claus tradition in whatever. I mean, I haven't actually looked up traditions for a couple of years now, but all over the world, Santa Claus does different things. And we don't have to. Sorry, Bruce, I had to kill some time. So I figured I'd talk about this. And because, see, I didn't want to tell a whole lot about the whole La Salette thing. I just wanted to tease that, except the fact that I was very, very, very impressed. And seeing as how this is just the beginning of the holiday season, I might as well do it now to save everybody the hassle of having to listen to it in 2 weeks after the fact. For all of you who do not have your nativity scenes set up yet, here we go. And let me tell you, La Salette, they know the story of Christmas. Yeah. They've got the wise men on one end of the parking lot. They've got the manger on the other end of the parking lot. Just the way it should be. I don't know if the religious people over there at La Salette are actually moving them forward. I mean, for all I know, they could have started in March and had, you know, the wise men down in Massachusetts somewhere and slowly bringing them up. I don't know. But I was standing there, and of course I had the camera with me. It was 20 degrees, and it was windy, so I was frozen to death. I'm filming the manger, smiling, because they got the story right. A couple walks up behind me And the woman says, there's no baby in the manger. Where's Jesus? She didn't know the story, apparently. So I turned around and said, he's not here yet. I'm assuming that the people at La Salette actually placed the baby in the manger on Christmas Eve. That is what I would think.
I bet you at a midnight mass.
I mean, if it was me, being the creative kind of sick thinker that I am, at midnight on Christmas Eve, a little trap door would pop open and Mary and the baby would slide right out into the manger. That's the way I do it, with like hydraulics or something. I don't know, but no, it's a very cool cool display. Well worth the trip up to Enfield to see it. I think it took me like an hour 15 to get up there or so, right up 91 to 89, and then it's the exit after where you get off to go up to the hospital in Lebanon, exit 17. And you go south maybe 10 miles. Great, beautiful place. And if you like Christmas lights, that's the place. Although I did hear there is another place in Springfield or in Longmeadow called Bright Lights that I guess is a drive-through lighting display, and you pay $18 a car and you drive through, and from what I understand, my mom went down one year and she said they were in line traffic for hours. But you know, hey, if you got nothing to do on an evening, Google up Bright Lights, Springfield, Mass, and I bet it's cool. I'm thinking about going down the 11th sometime and shooting some shots, bringing them back. It's kind of tough to film while you're driving, though. So if I can find somebody to drive. Once we get down there, because I'll drive down there, just I can't film and shoot at the same time, so I need somebody to drive through the course. All right. I've seen some crazy, crazy stories. Well, hold on. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? La Salette, changing Christmas. No, I think that's it. The TSA. I slammed the TSA already? Yeah? All right. I think I did. A little bit. I mean, yeah. The only way to do it is to not fly. I'm telling you. Simple answers for complicated problems. That's what I bring you. Sorry. Trying to. I'll keep going with this whole Christmas story, Christmas stuff. Because in Tokyo, apparently an aquarium in Japan has set up a Christmas display using an electric eel to illuminate the lights on its holiday tree. Yeah. Each time the eel moves, 2 aluminum panels gather enough electricity to light up the 2-meter-tall tree, 6.5 feet. It's decked out in white in glowing intermittent flashes. It's the aquarium in Kamakura, just south of Tokyo. It's featured the electric eel for 5 years to encourage ecological sensitivity. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about, you know, at this time of year especially, you know, I haven't heard not one person mention carbon footprint, nothing, at this time of year. You see, the White House, 50 million damn lights at the White House. They've got like 18 trees in the White House. If anybody wants to set an example, let it be the president. But oh no, he's too busy, you know, trying to prove to everybody that he's not a Muslim. So he's got 18 trees. I don't know. The place in Enfield, sure the place in Springfield, the amount of electricity that they suck up trying to make all of us go, ooh, nice. It would be a different story if in order to power those lights, somebody had to pedal a damn bicycle. And they had to keep people on shift pedaling the damn bicycle to keep the lights on. You know something? We wouldn't have any lights. Sorry, no Christmas display this week. We're lazy. That's it. No, but I mean, it's easy just to plug it in. But electric eel. So hey, next time you're at the pet store. Electric eel, a couple of, what did it say? Aluminum panels and an electric eel. Zzz, your Christmas tree is lit up. If you've got a small tree, if you've only got a 3-foot tree, you could probably light your tree and toast some Pop-Tarts. Just saying. And being it's the holiday season, I got to talk about this because I saw this and I went ingenious. 2 United States college graduates, they're enjoying a marketing bonanza after they launched a business. Get this, here's what they do. They help hungover party hosts clean up and recover from the night before. They're called hangover helpers. It's Mark Simons and Alex Veer Nicole. They launched the service a few weeks ago in Boulder, Colorado. For $15 per roommate, they offered to deliver burritos and Gatorade to ease aching headaches and calm fragile stomachs. How eating a burrito with a hangover is a good idea, I don't know. So apparently these guys aren't doctors. And while the hungover person eats burritos and drinks Gatorade, the 2 roommates will clean up the sticky glasses, empty bottles, stale food, and cigarette butts left by the guests.
For
On a
$15?
vacuum clean very loudly, you know.
For $15?
Well, it's $30 because it's 15 each.
I've had some parties, that would have been a bargain.
Oh, that would have been a wicked bargain at some of my parties, yeah. But, you know, I haven't really partied since I got divorced because I got nobody to clean up after the parties anymore. Used to just toss it all on the wife. Maybe that's why I'm divorced. You think?
Might be.
For part of it? Oh well, who cares? She still watches the show and she still tells me what to do, and I still tell her to get lost. But she still likes me. See, they say they can be called in the middle of the night during the party when they realize it's getting out of hand. They said they took one call at 3:15 a.m. The guy says, I always call the next morning to verify because a lot of the time they drink a lot and they don't even remember calling. More organized party hosts, they book them in advance. But they say they also get calls from people who are lying in their bed and they can't face walking out to a stale beer-smelling house. That's it. I had plenty of energy to party. I just can't take going out and looking at my trashed house.
You're just supposed to take another drink and then go for it.
They say they haven't had a really horrific one yet. They say it's mostly sticky countertops, beer cans, empty liquor bottles, and that kind of thing. And there are some pretty bad smells, but nothing crazy like dead animals or something. He says. Good business, yeah. Seems to me like that's exploiting the alcohol intolerable. Is that the proper way to put that? The drunks. All right, I told you when I did my sound check, told the crew that I had a story about a Spanish woman and a story about a French woman. And I'm going to talk about the Spanish woman first because apparently brilliant, maybe a little crazy. I don't know. But apparently there's something to this story. So apparently last in September, Angeles Duran, 49-year-old woman from Spain. She comes from the region of Galicia. She went to a notary public over there, and she registered the sun as her property with a notary public. And apparently she can do that.
Yeah, and I'm suing her for damages.
It's there we go. We can sue her for like skin cancer and stuff. Perfect. She never thought of that, I bet. But apparently she told an online edition of the Daily El Mundo that in September, after reading about an American man who had registered himself as the owner of the moon and most of the planets in our solar system, she registered herself as the owner of the sun. They could be legitimately the owners of these properties because there's an international agreement that states that no country may claim ownership of a planet or a star, but it doesn't say anything about individuals. Huh? Donald Trump, eat your heart out. I own the sun. You know? She says there was no snag. I backed my claim legally. I am not stupid. I know the law. I did it, but anyone else could have done it. It simply occurred to me first. The document issued by the notary public declares her to be the owner of the sun, a star of spectral type G2, located in the center of the solar system, located at an average distance from Earth of about 149,600,000 kilometers. She now says she wants to slap a fee on everyone who uses the sun and give half of the proceeds to the Spanish government and 20% to the nation's pension fund. She would dedicate another 10% to research, another 10% to ending world hunger, and would keep the remaining 10% for herself. Yeah, but I mean, then again, she's got the lawsuits from anybody with skin cancer. You know, anybody that's ever had a sunburn. Oh, hell yeah, I'd sue her. The courts would be tied up forever with all these cases. So, Angeles or whatever your name is, over there in Spain, if you're watching, or if you happen to know her, tell her, give it up. She can't own the sun when it goes supernova. What's she going to have then? Nothing. When it turns into a black hole, she's going to have even less.
Do you have her address? Because I lost part of my ear to skin cancer because of the sun, and I'd like to get some damages.
No, but I'm sure I would contact a lawyer. I'll save the article for you, Bruce.
We're going to Google that. And
all right.
Figure out where she's at.
All right. Yeah, we might as well do crew call. And then I'll come back and talk about a New York woman who also may be able to get a lawsuit going. We've got a crew, the regular crew. Laughing off here on the side is Greg on the camera. And in the booth is the typical Bruce and Andrea.
And Bruce and Andrea, yep, we're here. How's it going out there, bud?
Hey, it's going pretty good out here. How's it going in there?
Not too bad. We had a really nice Thanksgiving. Got to relax for a few days. Again, ate way too much food, and I don't know why it is tradition that, you know, for 4 people you got to cook an 8-course meal, you know, big enough to feed 20. It just never makes sense to me, the overindulgence that occurs on holidays and
well, not to mention having to hang out with the relatives.
yeah, the overabundance of relatives, people that you wouldn't hang out with other than the fact that you're related to them.
Yeah, and I didn't do that. See, I went out for a nice hike on Thanksgiving Day, came home, me and Mom had dinner, and that was it.
It was nice. We went over to her mom's place. She finally moved down here from Charlestown and is over in the new senior center over by the fairgrounds. And she had a nice kitchen that she wanted to christen, so she went ahead and fixed a turkey and all the stuffing and fixings, and we showed up with a ham and dessert, and it was a nice meal. So, but the sad part about everything is this time of year brings no more racing. Racing season's over. They had the final showdown there in Homestead, Miami 2 weeks ago now, and Jimmy Johnson was once again declared champion, 5-time, Mr. Nickel. But the nice thing that's come about, we just heard on the news this past week that Mr. Hendrick has decided to kind of shake things up there in the home camp and move the 88 car in with the 40, because right now they got two different garages basically for the 4 teams that they have. They had the 88 and the 5 together and the 48 and 24 together. They're moving the 48, or actually moving the 24 out to put them in with the 5 crew and bring the 88 over. And then, except for Chad Knaus on the 48, they're moving all the other crew chiefs around. They're taking the Steve Letarte from the 24 and putting him on the 88, moving the idiot from the 88, and they're putting him on the 5 car. And then they're taking the crew chief for the 5 car and moving him to the 24. So they're going to see if they can get some communication going on or get some more chemistry going. But hopefully it does something to improve Junior's outlook on things, because he pretty much didn't do squat this year, and Jeff Gordon was quite frustrated with Jimmy at times, and I think that's why they're kind of moving out of the same garage, so that way they don't have as much interaction. I don't know how things are going there, but it looked kind of interesting. The other thing I saw in the news today when I looked on the website is that it's officially announced that Scott Speed won't be with Red Bull Racing next year, that they're going to actually dump him, terminated his contract so that way they can put Casey Kane in the car. And it was also announced that Richard Petty Motorsports has been dissolved and sold back to Richard Petty, along with a couple of financial backers that he managed to line up. Recently, it's been owned by Gillette and some other financial, conglomerates that Richard Petty was just the namesake of the company. He didn't really have any say in what happened. And he finally, after Gillette started screwing up financing and they found things hard to get going this past year, I think it was Evernham stepped up. Ray Evernham, former crew chief for Richard Petty Motorsports, stepped up and is offering some financial assistance from what I understand. But that's pretty cool. So it's good to see Richard Petty back into racing as a spokesperson and has some control over what's going on with his team. AJ Allmendinger and Marcus Ambrose. But that's about it. We're looking forward to getting through the holidays and trying to get through the winter without too much snow and ice and crap. And just looking forward to having a good season. So I think we're going to throw it back at you, buddy.
All right, Bruce, thank you. You did, I wasn't really paying attention, Bruce, because I was trying to figure out my other stories, but you did mention that Jimmy Johnson won the championship, and yeah, I'm sorry we had to announce that, but apparently it happened, so I still think he's cheating. He's found some way to cheat and get away with it. I don't know.
We were hoping that they might find something wrong with his car in post-race after that final race, and might have docked him some points and actually caused Denny to get up there and take the championship away from him. But I think that they didn't even look at the car. They didn't want to find anything wrong.
Did they drug test him?
I don't know. It wasn't announced if they did.
I think he's taking steroids. Something. I don't know. I'm just saying. They should check everything, especially, if it means that Denny could be the champion. But it's a little late now. Oh, well. I said that there was a woman in New York who may have a lawsuit. Apparently, she's a beekeeper. Her name is Cerise Mayo. And she was puzzled because her bees started coming back looking kind of red. And her honey started coming out red, like cough syrup red for her honey. Well, apparently, she's in Brooklyn, is where she raises her bees, in Brooklyn. She's a city beekeeper. Apparently, they found out that the bees were getting the runoff from, were getting into the runoff at Dell's Maraschino Cherries Company, which is in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn. Apparently, cerise, the name cerise means cherry. I don't know what that has to do, but it means cherry in French. She raises the bees in that neighborhood and across the water on Governor's Island. Apparently, they had the bees tested, and sure enough, the bees were riddled with red dye number 40. Yeah, same food coloring as found in the cherry juice. A bee expert told the newspaper that bees had been creating a big nuisance at the factory. So the solution, they say, put up screens or provide a closer source of the sweet nectar. So I wonder if it would have if the honey would take on the cherry flavor as well as the color. Because that lady may have found a gold mine. You know, I don't know. Other than the fact of having red bees, you know, which is, I bet they look cool. All right. Oslo, Germany, or Oslo, Norway. Apparently, the Norwegian police are looking for a dog that escaped from its owner, who was the Norwegian police. The police dog escaped from the cops, and now the cops are looking for the police dog. Apparently, the official statement said this December 2 at 10 a.m., 0900 Greenwich Mean Time, a police dog escaped from his master during a training session. And now they're looking for the dog. Apparently,
the dog quit, and they won't let him get away with it.
Apparently the dog quit, and they don't want him to quit. Yeah.
Once on the force, always on the force, something like that. We still got your bone.
That's got to be, because that's basically all it says. Norwegian police dog escapes employers, and they're looking for him. So yeah, but now that you brought it up, maybe the dog just said, to hell with it, I quit.
Yeah, screw you guys, I'm going home.
I'm going to go find some young kid who resembles little Timmy from the old TV show Lassie and eat him. I mean, live with him for a while. I don't think there's any danger to the public. I hope. It's in Oslo. We don't care anyway.
Unless the dog can swim.
Something else that is over in Germany, which doesn't affect us, but this one sounds like it might have been kind of fun for at least the beginning of it. Apparently a group of 40 people had gathered late on last Monday to toss snowballs at each other, but the game quickly degenerated into a massive free-for-all that required police intervention. Yeah. Apparently, more than 500 people joined the fracas. They refer to it as a fracas in here. But apparently, it's like 540 people in a snowball fight. And the black-clad mob threw not only snow, but also firecrackers, bottles, and rocks. See, that's the sad part about it. Somebody's always, somebody's always got to ruin it.
I've been in a big snowball fight like that,
But, that's kind of cool.
and it was calm.
It sparked a major police operation. And then officers became the main target of the hooligans. They called them hooligans. So apparently they weren't just regular people, they was hooligans. Man, to get 500 hooligans all together in the same place at the same time, that must have been a record. Because hooligans don't like to hang around in big groups. Hooligans like to be low key. For the most part, I used to be a hooligan, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, you don't like the spotlight when you're a hooligan. A completely uninvolved car driver also fell victim, with the mob smashing the windshield with a beer bottle and injuring his arm. 2 officers were wounded and a police car was damaged before the group could be broken up. It doesn't say that anybody was arrested. But it also doesn't say how it was broken up either. Me? I would have said, we'll end this quick. They're having a snowball fight in Berlin, Germany in December. It's got to be cold. I would turn the water hoses on them. And see, countries like that use water cannons as weapons. We don't have any cops really that use water cannons. A good way to clear Pumpkin Fest out at the end of Pumpkin Fest, roll the cops down through the street with a water cannon. Say if you're still here in 10 seconds, you won't be in 11. I know, Rick, but then you're wasting water. Not really. By sweeping the trash off the streets is not a waste. All right. Let's go to the. I got a story about a German man or a French woman. What do you want to hear first, Bruce?
French woman.
The French woman? All right. In Paris. When was this? Tuesday, November 23rd. Just in time for Thanksgiving. French firefighters freed a 69-year-old woman. She spent 3 weeks trapped in her bathroom. And her nightly pleas for help by tapping on the pipes were ignored by her neighbors. According to the story, the woman emerged in a very weakened state when rescue workers, alerted by neighbors worried because they had not seen her for some time, broke into her home to extricate her.
3 weeks.
She got stuck after the bathroom door lock broke. The woman, who was recuperating in a hospital, survived by drinking warm water from the bathroom tap, and at nighttime tried to call for help by tapping on the pipes. But neighbors in the apartment block said they thought someone was doing home repair work and launched a petition to find out who it was to have it stopped. If they had just kept their mouth shut about not seeing the old lady, it would have eventually stopped. Unbelievable, huh? It's just, it's another case of, don't close yourself off. Be aware. Don't just assume somebody's doing home repairs if you're tapping on the pipes night after night after night. Act like my mother, who every little sound, she's up and peering out the window because something might be going on. You never know. I don't know. Now the German guy? All right, now we'll do the German guy. Apparently this German do-it-yourself enthusiast, he aimed to seal off the entrance to his cellar. And he went downstairs armed with some bricks and some mortar and some food and some drinks. Yeah, guess what?
He made himself in a corner.
German people aren't much smarter than French people because he bricked himself in. Yeah, he only managed to escape by drilling his way through to his neighbor's place. Yeah.
Paint yourself in a corner.
He was on the wrong side of the wall when his work was finished. They didn't release this guy's name because apparently he's too stupid to have his name released. And they're afraid people are going to call him and tell him how stupid he is. But he spent the weekend trapped in the basement. But on Monday, he decided to take action. Using a hammer drill, he went to work not on his own wall, but on the wall that separated his house from his neighbors. And apparently, him and the neighbors had been quarreling for months. And the neighbors called the cops when they heard the drilling. And the officers were waiting for the guy when he came busting through the wall. I don't know how he explained it, but man. See, I think I should have locked himself in the bathroom. Yes, I think we should now. Yeah. And then I'll come back with the last 3 stories to wrap it up. We'll wrap up with a great, interesting poll that's just out. Tonight on the Mom's Tattoo slideshow interlude, we have photos by me, a cover song originally done by Grand Funk Railroad. The band is Last Chance.
Oh,
finishes the. All right. Sorry about messing up the whole musical vibe there with me screaming in the wind there. What? Oh, okay. Cool. All right, here we go. From Deming, New Mexico. We've got a New Mexican story. Apparently, it was a.
Care to elaborate a little bit more on that? Or?
Sure. Apparently, it involves the foiling of a robbery in New Mexico. Apparently, a guy walked into some store, Amigo's Mexican food market. He grabbed the cash register and tried to flee. And according to the police captain, the man dropped the cash register when the clerk threw a package of empanadas at the guy, and it hit him. Empanadas are a Latin American pastry. And, yeah. Barbara Orquiz, who owns Amigos with her husband, says the cash register's cord got caught when the man tried to take it. The clerk saw him grab it, screamed, and got him with the empanadas. The owner says the man was covering his head as he ran away, apparently afraid she was going to throw some other type of pastry at him. But yeah, see, and you never can tell. That's why, if you're a criminal, people will fight back. Some people will fight back. Are you willing to risk it? Or, you know, maybe you just enjoy being hit in the head with empanadas. Yeah, empanadas. I said it right. All right. And in France, just want to let everybody know, in France, if you have ducks, don't give them any pot. You can be fined for feeding pot to your ducks. At least a French duck farmer's been given a 1-month suspended sentence and fined $680 or 500 euros after feeding cannabis to his birds. He says it's an excellent dewormer. So there you go. Just another one of the medicinal benefits of marijuana. It will keep you worm-free. I worry about everything, Andrea. These days, you got to worry about everything. Glaucoma, worms. I mean, you never know what's going to get you in the end. Buses. I especially worry about buses because I've heard that buses hurt. Oh, it was a great, what the hell show was I watching? It's that one with Louis Black on Comedy Central where they have one side versus the other. It's like the debate. And they had beer versus pot, which is going to ruin the world or whatever. And one of the guys' arguments for pot being all right is 30 years ago, Willie Nelson looked like he was 82. Today, Willie looks like he's 82. The halts the aging. Of course he got busted again. He's a pot smoker. He's like a huge pot smoker too, and he travels. See, that's the thing. But apparently, this farmer, I'm not even going to pronounce the name of the village because it's in French. It's on France's Atlantic coast. He admitted that he smoked some of the drug himself, but said most of it was given to his 150 ducks for medicinal purposes. A duck specialist advised the farmer to do that, saying there's no better worming substance for them. Not one duck has worms, and they're all in excellent health. That's what he told. That's what the guy's lawyer told the court, trying to convince him. He was arrested after the police discovered 12 plants and around 5 kilos of the drug, which is 11 pounds. Cops said, this is the first time we've heard something like this. Sure. Oh, that just reminded me of something else, and then I just lost it immediately. Oh, the big bust in Massachusetts this week. 200 pounds of cocaine. Good on them. Hell yeah. Get that crap off the streets. No, was it?
They had some tunnels.
Apparently, they uncovered a tunnel in San Diego that came across from Tijuana, Mexico, and found like 20 tons worth of marijuana.
Good. Get that off the
Stashed down
streets
there.
too, because personally, I would like to buy American. I don't want any, support the American farmer, damn it. That's all I'm saying. There was a poll that's out this week, conducted by telephone by the CBS News Election and Survey Unit, among a random sampling of 1,137 adults, both landlines and cellular phones. Margin of error was plus or minus 4%. One of the questions they asked, what defunct act Americans would most like to see in concert? And the Beatles topped the chart with 22%. Michael Jackson got 20%. Frank Sinatra got 18%. And Mozart got 14%. A quarter of the people polled said they think their life is interesting enough to be given a reality show. And 3/4 of the people polled said that their lives weren't interesting enough to have a reality show. The most annoying behavior, 33% of the people said driving slowly in the fast lane annoyed them the most, followed by cell phone conversations in restaurants and spitting in public. 71% said that they express the sentiment of the season by saying Merry Christmas, while 23% say Happy Holidays, and 4% say Bah Humbug. I guess this poll is going to be in the January issue of Vanity Fair, which hit the news shelves yesterday, I believe. Google and Yahoo were cited as the organizations that people worry most about having their personal information, while 33% listed the online sites. 14% said they were more concerned about the U.S. government having the information, and 13% cited banks and credit agencies. Another 33% said they don't worry much about who has their personal information. Asked what U.S. landmark people would most like to see sold to a foreign country, 26% of the people said the Hollywood sign. 18% of the people said Elvis Presley's Graceland they would like to see a foreign country own. 14% said Washington, D.C. And 12% said Disney World. Well, apparently the 12% are the lucky ones, because I think Disney is owned by foreign interests.
I say sell them Canada.
Yeah, but Canada's not a U.S. landmark. I think Puerto Rico is, because in the Puerto Rican ads I see the stuff. All right. I still think that a quarter of the people polled think that their life is interesting enough to have their own reality show. Crazy. All right. Let me think of the timetable. We're here next week. We're here a new show on Christmas Eve, I believe. And then we're off. I plan on running a best of episode for the New Year's Eve episode. Other than that, stay tuned for No Spin. They got some great stuff on. They've actually got some stuff from the tree lighting that happened tonight. I want to thank Mom's Tattoo. I want to thank Cheshire TV, my entire crew. I want to thank all of you for watching. Till next time, peace.
Stop. There are kids watching. That's no way to teach kids how to behave.